All right. All good. All you.
Whenever you're ready.
No, we're live.
Live. All right. Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. Happy New Year. Hey, everybody. Welcome to AKA Geeks. And this is our group movie of the week, continuing with the theme of Christmas. I'm Sean. We have with me just the one, the only Lynn.
What's up, everybody? How's it going?
And this is our last Christmas movie of the week of the month. We are going to go on to newer, bigger, and better things starting next week. But we decided to, we were really urged by one of our members who's not here today to watch this film, Brendan.
Go figure. Go figure. The one person who chose this movie is not here for it.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's one of those films that it's not, I don't know, in some circles, depending on how old you are, it's probably a Christmas classic. In some circles, it's probably something else. Let's get into it. On IMDb, here's what we got. It's a 6.4 out of 10 on IMDb. Here's the description. When a man inadvertently kills Santa on Christmas Eve, he finds himself magically recruited to take his place. All right, let's just start off at the beginning with what that says. That Santa getting killed thing right there. What do you think about that? Out of all the accidents that could happen.
Can I say this that when this originally whoever thought of this process, they were really fucking dark to think of this. That they would figure, oh yeah, let's just make Santa just, hey, if he gets killed, somebody else just takes his clothes and that's it. He becomes Santa.
What's the line in the clause? What's the line in the actual clause? It says something like either until deemed otherwise or they expire. They don't say expire, but until accident or deemed otherwise happens.
Yeah. But in other words, you put on the suit, you're the fat man.
Yeah, if the other guy dies and then his body vanishes. So, question regarding that: how long does that last? Do you become immortal at that point?
Well, obviously they did 2 other films with him not aging.
The other films, and I never.
You never watched the other 2?
No. I probably never will either.
No, well, you should. You should watch them.
All right. Well, then at that point, because you said we should watch the other ones, I'm not going to say that we should. We're going to watch them next week or anything like that.
Well, no. But what I'm saying is like they're. Don't get me wrong. I love Tim Allen. Home Improvement is one of my all-time favorite shows. Even though, I mean, yeah, but I mean the new show that he has for ABC,
Last Man Standing.
The Last Man Standing. I don't like that one as much. I like some of the things about it that remind me of his typical comedy, but at the same time, when it comes to the Santa Claus, we're talking. This is him just being him, which is for me is funny enough.
Do a deep dive into that and some of the positives about this movie.
Well, the deep dive is if you're a Tim Allen fan and you love his comedy, then this movie works for you.
Yeah,
you know,
you definitely as stuff in there that's
it's very Tim Allen. Yeah, like his sarcasm. I think the smartest person in the movie is Charlie. Charlie's which is the boy. So that says a lot as far as the adults. I hate the woman who portrays Charlie's mom. Her character is just like, so, how are you going to force somebody to not see his kid and try to take away? And then Judge Reinhold is a hot mess.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking Cosby sweaters. His character, I don't know, man. But overall, as a comedy about Christmas, is okay. Because it's Tim Allen. Tim Allen is the saving grace in this. But, I mean, the way they portray the adults are just, like, plain stupid.
Yeah.
So, that's why I suggest this. I think my favorite out of the 3 films is the second one. Because it has him looking for Mrs. Claus.
Okay.
And so that's actually a lot funnier. And you don't have to worry about the dark stuff about Santa being dead. And
death.
Yeah.
Not seeing you ever again.
Yeah.
So I kind of had an issue like how you mentioned with the ex-wife, the mother. I felt like her and Judge Reinhold's character Neil, they shouldn't have gotten redemption that year for Christmas and gotten their
No.
weenie whistle and whatnot. Screw them.
No.
They were naughty. They were dicks. They tried to take visitation rights from their
Especially
father.
Neil. I know she was just stupid. She was just going along for the boat. This is a man that she supposedly loved, and because the whole premise is that they don't want him to believe in Santa anymore. Let's get this straight. 2 grown adults don't want their kid to enjoy Christmas by believing in Santa, and they think he's nuts because his dad is telling them, well, yeah, Santa is real, what have you. I still believe in Santa.
And here's the thing about the movie to begin with, like, they leave a lot out in this film, and I know this is some negative stuff, but it kind of goes towards the positive stuff about Tim Allen in this film. I think in this film they leave out a lot of prehistory before everything that happens before this film. They leave a lot of that prehistory out of this film. In most of this film, 90% of this film, 95% of this film, if you did it based on minutes, you probably saw Tim Allen being a good father. In this film. In like 95% of the film, maybe a couple minutes of him being a little short or whatever, but nothing uncommon. Instead, it was actually, like you said, what's her name? What's the ex-wife's name? Susan was. What's her name?
I don't know.
Laura.
I forgot.
Laura. You see Laura and Neil being unbelieving like dicks and trying to, you know, like divorce is very hard. I'm lucky to have both my parents, but I can imagine what that's like. You're taking away your ex-husband's right to see his kid and his kid right to see the dad. I was like, man, those guys are being dicks right now. This is something very serious that they're using this instance to cause true trauma.
Yeah, and I looked at it as because Neil was jealous of what Charlie and his dad had, and Neil couldn't get that with him. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You're gonna stoop that low? Oh, I took that away from the get go.
Reflected in the positive way of the movie. I think it reflected on Tim Allen and what he did as a character to show you that, like, even though he was a smart ass to everybody, but he still showed love for his kid and did, you know, he tried to cook turkey. He took him out to dinner wherever he could. It's understandable that, you know, the only place that's open is Denny's. It's understandable. Burn the turkey. It happens, you know. But it showed like he did a good job bringing that positivity to the character. And to me, I don't know if they meant for that to happen, but that's what happened to me. I saw this positive character in Tim Allen's Scott Calvin versus the negativity driven by the ex-wife and Neil. Yep. And also, like, the stuff it allowed him to do to Tim Allen to, like you said, be himself. And he also, for me, brought in some of that home improvement stuff with the ho ho ho, but he did it like Tim Allen, like his character Tim would do on Home Improvement, you know. And so
like when he's first at the doctor, he's real big. He's like, does this look like a little bit of weight?
Yeah.
And he's like moving that, like I expected to go like do an Al joke wearing plaid or something.
So this movie came out when I was 9 years old. I totally remember seeing this in theater, and I remember that moment. I thought that moment in the movie, that was so weird. Because I remember I was watching Home Improvement around that time, and I was watching that and seeing him with the belly. It was like so weird. Like, how did they do that? You know, because you don't know back then. It was so weird. What did you think of the CGI in this film?
It was for what it was for that time, man. You can't really knock it because, you know,
terrible.
Well, you're looking at it from the eyes of someone who's in the now, but someone who, you know, grew up with it and was like, it is what it was for its time. I have no problem with it. I could look past that. It's one of those movies that I look past the fact that that is CGI. Or, that's a big, you know, animatronic reindeer head looking back at him.
I will say the actual animatronics, I like the animatronics. I thought the animatronics were good. Except for the part where they showed Comet's teeth and it looked like human teeth. That was a little weird.
Right, that was done intentionally.
Huh?
That was done intentionally. It was supposed to give you the feeling of, like, the old Rudolph animated things, because if you look at the old Rudolph things and what have you, they don't have reindeer teeth. They just have, you know, the mouth like they usually do. So the real reason he had the human teeth is to give him that like cartoony look.
It made me think of when when you're scrolling the internet and you're looking through articles that you like and things of that nature, and then all of a sudden you get to a website. It's credible, but it's not like a super huge, well-funded website, so they have to get advertisements from not so up and up websites, and they have a thing of like a fish right there with human teeth and whatnot. Like an article of the human fish from the Fukushima power plant going down with human teeth. It reminded me of that. I was like, holy cow, why does that reindeer have human teeth? I actually really liked the animatronics, so I thought the reindeer worked well as an animatronic. Only thing that I thought could have been improved, looking back on it now, is if they made the reindeers a little bigger. Because to me, they looked like just like a Great Dane size. And
no, they were actual size.
I mean, is that actual size? 'Cause when Tim Allen walked by one, the
waist
top
high.
of the back was maybe to his
around
ribcage.
his waist. Yeah, which is about right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Is that,
unless
I've never seen a reindeer.
Because look at it when the scene where Charlie's laughing because all the reindeer are following him. He's like, that's one of the key elements where you can see that the animatronic reindeer are pretty close to what they traditionally are. Reindeers are not that big, and it depends on what part of the country they are.
When I think of reindeer, I think of Jingle All the Way, and that one was a pretty good sized reindeer. So I don't know.
There's also Arnold.
I don't know what the size is. I just thought they were a little smaller. I thought they were going to be bigger. But I actually really like the animatronics. I thought that was better than the actual CGI that they put in there.
Yeah.
Did you have any other things that are negative about this film that you wish they could have improved upon, or what do you think so far?
A lot of my negative just goes along with the storyline of trying to make him seem worse than he really is, and he really wasn't portrayed that way. And one, like I said, I like Judge Reinhold. I love when Kevin Smith makes fun of Judge Reinhold, but overall, I hate him in this movie.
Judge Reinhold?
I fucking hate him in this movie so bad. He came off as, that one Saturday Night Live skit where it's Al Franken does the character.
Okay.
And he was like, I believe, he's the motivational speaker, and he's looking into the mirror. He was like, I believe in myself. I like myself. And by God,
he's like a strip mall psychiatrist.
Yeah, well, that's what Neil was. And I'm like, I wanted to punch him in the face, man. He's like, stop trying to be like this. Oh, everything's fine with me, but you're wrong. Here's my card.
It was like every time they said something, Neil had an answer, which was like the obvious trying to like jab somebody in the ribs kind of answer.
Yeah, but at the same time, I saw him very manipulative. He was very manipulative.
Yeah, and it was all based on an afterthought of what you've already saw instead of saying like actually evaluating. So it was like it was a play on a psychiatrist. Obviously, I mean there are some, like I said, strip mall psychiatrists that are probably like that, but it was a little much, right?
Yeah, because I felt like everything he was doing was just to help himself, not really to work on.
I never thought of it that way until you said that, but I thought he was just being a dick and just was going.
No, because think about it, he's married to this guy's ex-wife, who they have a kid together. The kid is okay with him, but he loves his dad, so he's going to try to deface his father in front of him, no less.
And he lost and make him when he was 3.
Yeah, and make him look less of a father. So that way he can bring him over to the dark side and have him like him more. While do you know what I mean? And I was like, man, fuck you, man. I'd love to fucking meet you in a dark alley.
See, and like that kind of behavior in the film, it's part of the film. In real life, that kind of behavior like bugs me because that stuff never is beneficial to a kid, ever.
Yeah,
it's never been.
And he's not funny. Neil's character is not funny.
No, and Judge Reinhold's a funny guy in other stuff,
Yeah,
so
as a straight man.
Yeah, depending on what you watch, depending on what movies you're watching. I liked him in Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Fast Times, yeah. So overall, anything else you want to drop on this one? Any thoughts about this film? You said you like number 2 better.
Yeah,
one
because it focused more on Santa and the whole looking for a wife, and then the off time. You see him doesn't have to worry about dealing with no divorce shit or losing his kid or anything like that. That gets dropped out. He's just trying to find romance again, and of course, there's more funnier. I think that one's a lot more funnier than the first one.
Okay. I
So
will
it's
try
just
to
got a
watch
lot
that
more
one
jokes.
based on your recommendation next year for Christmas.
Yeah, the third one deals with him and Jack Frost. Jack Frost trying to take over Christmas, try to make it all about him, and Jack Frost is played by Martin Short, which he's awesome. But the third one falls a little flat in comparison to the second one, but it's still better than the first one.
Okay.
To me.
And what do you want? What would you give this one grade wise?
Oh, do we have to grade it? It's like we're.
Here, you don't have to grade.
All right. Here's what we'll do. Here's what we'll do. I'll grade it like if I watched it the first time, way back when it first came out.
Okay.
And with that, I would have to give it a B.
Okay.
Just because the only thing, like I said, the only thing that's detrimental to me is the whole Judge Reinhold's character of Neil and his ex-wife.
What would you give it now?
Now looking at it from a parental perspective, with kids of my own who watched it, I'd still have to give for what they get out of it. I'd still give it to B, but me on a personal level, I'd give it a C.
Okay, all right.
So, because
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No.
I'll save mine. I want to.
I think.
I'll see.
I think this film. It was wonderful when I was a kid. I really loved it. I really enjoyed it. I still really enjoyed it this time. The only thing the CGI, it's not something to end the movie for me like in a bad note. It was just I looked at it and go, wow, that's terrible. But that was it, and I was able to get past it. I watched another Tim Allen Christmas movie 2 weeks ago for Movie of the Week, Christmas with Cranks, and that was garbage.
But see, here's the thing. I liked Christmas with the Cranks.
Okay,
and I didn't watch that till a couple years ago.
This was my first time seeing it ever, Christmas with the Cranks. Yeah. And in my review of that one, I said the best thing about it that was trying to do anything to save that film was Tim Allen doing the best he can with what he had, which was crap.
See, I liked the actual plot of the film.
I said that too at the beginning of the film. I said the thought of the plot of where it's coming from, that's understandable. But the characters in that film make it go way off, and it's like, for me, it was right downhill. But Tim Allen did what he could in that one. And this one, I felt like the story was different than that one, and it was a little better than that one.
Yeah.
It held through longer than the other one did. And Tim Allen I felt like he didn't struggle as much in this film to make me laugh as he did in the last film I watched with him. With this one, if I were to give it a grade back then, when I was a kid, it'd probably be like an A-. But now it's probably like a C+. It's a C+. It's a movie that it'll probably be in my lineup of Christmas movies, until I'm older. But it's probably one of the further down ones.
Trust me, it'll get back to you when you have kids of your own.
Yeah.
It'll come back around.
But C+ is not a bad, and that's still probably like in the top 10 Christmas movies I would show or watch on a regular Christmas basis. Yeah. So I mean, back then I'd probably give it A- and probably like a B+, a C-, A- back when I first saw it, and probably a C+ nowadays.
So here's a little side note for you.
Okay.
And because I didn't get to ask you this on the podcast, nor did I get to ask Brendan since we had him on Christmas Eve. Traditionally, what do you watch? To go into Christmas morning, or on Christmas morning as well, if you watch anything.
Okay, so this Christmas was a little different, but I tried my best to do it. But usually, this year I only watched it once. I usually watch it like 7 times on Christmas Day. Is the Christmas Story. I put it on there, and just put it on repeat, and it's going repeat, and I just listen to it, and come back to it, watch a scene here, watch a scene there. We watched it one time in the hotel this Christmas. What about you? Same thing, or?
Usually that's what the case is.
Okay.
And Susan gets mad at me because I always do it. So what was funny is we started getting the El Rey network on
that one.
on Frontier. So, and that's that's a lot better than that's like Spike used to be in a day, or even G4 was. So they had a different Christmas marathon. They had a kaiju movie marathon.
What?
So basically, they were playing Godzilla movies. Yeah. They were playing 20 of the Godzilla films in a row. So on Christmas Eve, as I was wrapping gifts, I put on a Godzilla film, and I was like, it took me back to being 9 years old watching them on Thanksgiving, because back where I used to live, on Thanksgiving, they'd always do a monster movie marathon. And it was always Godzilla, King Kong, and things like that. So this took me back to being 9. So I was like, and I looked at, Susan looked at me and I said, hey, you always complain when I put on the Christmas Story. This year, no Christmas Story, but I'm getting my type of movie. So I just let it run.
Now, you said you're wrapping your presents on Christmas Eve. Do you do the thing where the only presents are out there are maybe stuff from you, Susan?
Nothing.
Oh, nothing's out there.
Out there
until you put it out there when the kids are asleep.
Right.
Which you didn't hear that, kids.
No, they're never going to see this. Not for a long time.
Yeah. But you put it out Christmas Eve when they're asleep, so it follows the tradition of Santa. Okay.
And what's funny, it was a little hard this year too, because I worked Christmas Eve till about 10:30.
Oh wow!
So we didn't get the Christmas presents done till about almost 2. So and the kids were up at like 5:45, sneaking in like it's Christmas.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was fighting sleep that whole day.
Yeah, I don't mind watching Christmas Story on Christmas Eve going into Christmas Day. I turn it on and I just leave it on, unless my dad or somebody changes it to like the Christmas Parade or something like that. We watch that all day. We were up north on Christmas this year, so we were in a hotel. Normally, this is the first year that we've been in a hotel on Christmas in a long time, because everything with my grandparents, we used to stay at their house. Now that's different. It was difficult to catch. We were lucky enough that we got to the hotel from Christmas Eve right when the new showing of the movie started. So we watched it one all the way through, and then I hit the hay. But it was still good. This one, I mean, the Santa Claus versus Christmas movie. I mean, Christmas Story.
See, but here's the thing: the difference between the two movies is where A Christmas Story has a lot of charm, and it's timeless charm, even though it's set in the what is it, late 40s, early 50s.
Yeah,
40s, late 40s when he's little.
And it's filmed in the 80s, I think. It was filmed in the 80s.
Well, yeah, because he the kid's like 2 or 3 years older than I am.
Yeah, Ralphie's in his mid-40s right now.
Yeah, and but the thing is, where that has a timeless charm that never goes away. That's why it's a perennial favorite along the house. This, though, has the charm, but it has so much elements that not a lot of people gravitate to, and the only thing that makes it a Christmas movie is the fact that it's centered around Santa Claus.
I think this is a good holiday film. It's better holiday than Christmas. If I was watching Christmas movies on Christmas and I had to say, all right, what 5 movies am I going to watch on Christmas Eve going into Christmas, or 5, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day? This probably wouldn't be in my 5. This would probably be something earlier in December, prepping me for getting ready for all that stuff. That list of 5, I mean, that's a whole nother story. But this one, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it overall. I'm glad I watched it again, because it's something I haven't watched in a few years.
Yeah.
So, any other thoughts, Lynn?
No, that's pretty much it for me in a nutshell.
All right, so you guys, we want some suggestions for my Lone Wolf episodes of Movie of the Week, as well as our group stuff. We definitely appreciate them. We definitely put some thought into this stuff, and we definitely see what each person's likes and dislikes are, trying to figure this out. So we definitely like some suggestions. Lynn, tell us what's going on right now with AKA Geeks.
Well, right now, hopefully we get to go back on track with me coming off of the holiday schedule at GameStop. I can go back to... I still have to put out all of December's unboxings up online. With the new year coming in, hopefully they'll be in there. You're going to see me actually be disappointed in a lot of things.
Let me ask you a question and interject there.
Yeah.
I know we were working on it last time we talked. You were working on it last time we talked. The live episode of the
that's coming. The live episode from the GameStop Expo. Yeah. I've got that. That's the first thing I want to do because I'm trying to edit everything so it flows evenly to what we had audio.
Way to bring in the new year right there.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get that one out first before I do all the unboxing for the December boxes. So I'm trying to get that one up so that way you guys can enjoy and you can see an Ed's Corner that's a quite different take. Unless you've listened to the podcast, it's a very big different take than before.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I want to see how you got that one edited up.
Yeah.
Where can they find you, Lynn?
Right here at AKA Geeks. I don't have anything else. But you can also find me on Xbox as Ash Darkthorn, and then on PSN Ash_Darkthorn. Hit us up. Join us on our game nights when we stream and what have you. I plan on streaming a lot of the NES Classic games because I got that for the holidays, and I gotta say, playing that now, man, I've lost my edge on certain games.
Dude,
I'm like,
when playing games on the virtual console, it makes me realize how much better I used to be at games than I am now. We're babies now. We're babies now when it comes to games compared to what we used to deal with.
That's right. I don't mind, streaming the fact that I'm going to get blasted on like early Mario games or what have you. And a lot of the controls, unfortunately, with the mini NES, a lot of the controls are the same, so they're not as responsive, even as they were originally. So like with Pac-Man, I get blasted quick for some reason. But that's that. We'll see how that turns out. See how much of a laughing stock I end up being with that.
Probably a big one.
So.
You guys find me on Xbox One, Xbox Live, I should say, Swish space 187, and on PlayStation Network under SwisherUp. Catch me on Twitter, Caliman Swish. We get all the info out to you from AKA Geeks, at least links from there to get to all of our social media. We just put up our most recent episode of the podcast and catching up after the holidays, things of that nature. I'm looking forward to next year, and you guys all have a wonderful, happy, and safe New Year. And I'll see you guys next time, which next time will be next year. So, see you guys.
Yeah, we started the next year off real big. Yeah. And that would be him by himself, so that's a good one.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
Rudolph's Happy New Year.
It's gonna be something like super B-list action movie or something, probably. I don't know. I have no clue.
Alright, guys. Happy New Year from me as well. Please just follow us. Enjoy everything we got coming to you. And Sean, this is all you, baby.
I said it. We'll see you guys later next time. Peace.
Make sure